Kia ora. Tonight on Netball Zone, we reflect on the round that was, chat live to Amelia Walmsley and Kate Heffernan, and Nadine Wilson is with us live in studio. It's time to get in the zone. Kia ora mai tātou, welcome into Netball Zone with myself, Courtney Taini, Cruz Tangita, Nadine Wilson. Oh my gosh, what a game we just had down in Ōtautahi. The Tactics, they were in it until probably the last 5 or so minutes, Cruz.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing for the Tactics, given that they came off, as Annie said in her post-match interview, a thumping from the Mystics yesterday afternoon. If we look at the last 5 centre passes of that game, the Tactics only had 1 that they converted on. So it's really tough to win a game when you're losing centre passes. And I mean, for the Pulse, Annie, they really stood up in those final few moments.
Yeah, look, the Pulse have had a number of tight ones this season, haven't they? And I think it just showed their experience. All of a sudden, they got into a tight spot, they lifted. And let's be honest, when you've got Amelia Walmsley, she's been on fire, hitting that ball into her, it's certainly a get-out-of-jail-free card, and they used it, and they used it well.
Do you think this is quite telling for the Pulse? They know that they can stand up in those very, very close games in the dying seconds like we saw against the Steel, but then can really push out in these games as well in the final fourth quarter. I
think it gives them confidence heading into, you know, the final few rounds of the ANZ Premiership. When the going gets tough, it's good to see that these players are really stepping up. Kelly Jury, I thought Famu Ioane also played outstanding tonight. She played both centre and wing defence. So really good, I guess, smarts from coach Yvette McClawson-Jury to make these changes when they needed to bring those fresh legs on and to introduce some more energy into the game.
All right, let's head out to Ōtautahi to chat to the player of the match, Whitney Souness. Well, Whitney, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations. First of all, how is the body feeling after this massive weekend for yourself and your team?
Kia ora, guys. Yeah, the body's feeling sore and tired. I'm getting older, so, you know, the joints are a bit sore, but yeah, it's good that from here we don't have any more double headers, and yeah, we'll just recover, rest up tomorrow, and be ready for a new week.
Well, a 1-goal win on Saturday against the Steel, a 9-goal win tonight against the Tactics. How important is it to push these leads out, given that the ladder's so tight at the moment?
Yeah, honestly, it's so important. I think we went in today hoping to win by, you know, hopefully a bit more than we had in that Steel game. So you're really proud of the finish that we had, and I think it's really important to, you know, secure that top 3 spot for us to just push out these leads more and more each week.
Kia ora, Whitney. You look to be just absolutely thriving out on court currently. It must be kind of helpful, though, to know that you've got Amelia at the back, and worst case scenario, you can biff it in.
Yeah, Amelia's doing awesome at the back there. She's so young, but I think every week she's improving, and it's so awesome to see our young ones coming up and just growing in their confidence. And, you know, she's taking some hard hits in there and just really, really strong every week. So, yeah, really proud of the growth that she's had from the start of the season till now.
Well, kia ora, Whit. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on the wins this weekend and also player of the match.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, it's always great to hear from the players, and as you can see, Whitney's stats there, Cruz.
Yeah, and I love the variety of that Whitney Souness brings to the game. You know, she uses that 1-second pass or that 3-second release. It's really good to see, I guess, a change-up from a wing attack, and also a good change-up for Noeline Total, especially coming into the World Cup.
Yeah, she's certainly in the chat when you're talking about mid-court. I just love what Whitney brings. She brings something a little bit different. She brings that flair. She brings that real, you know, she punches across that transverse line. I love that her first option is always the circle. That's what you want from a wing attack, and she's certainly ticking that off.
I agree with you 100%. Nothing better than a mid-court hitting that circle edge. Well, this was round 9 of the ANZ Premiership. It all started on Saturday with the Pulse, with their first match of the round up against the Steel. And oh my goodness, was Invercargill absolutely treated to an intense game down there. The Steel, they were up by 5 at halftime. They brought defensive intensity. Kate Burley, she was the player of the match, but it really all came down to the very, very last minute. The Steel, they had the Pulse rattled. They were up. They had about 40 seconds left on the clock with the centre pass. But the Pulse, as you saw there, they got a touch to the ball, took it down the other end and ended up winning by 1.
Whai muri tērā ke mu, I hare tātou ki o Tautahi mō tēnei ke mu, nei, the game between the Mystics and the tactics, well, right from the get-go to the final whistle, the Mystics were totally in control. It was great to see the reintroduction of Captain Sully Fitzpatrick and also Michaela Sokolic-Beaton, who was out last week with injury. But, boy, Peta Toiava picking up the MVP performance. She was on fire. Much like Whitney Souness, really brings that variety to her feeds, and that connection with Grace Huka was absolutely outstanding. So a fantastic game from the side in blue.
And then in game 3, it was a must-win basically for both these teams, the Stars and the Magic. They needed to keep in touch with that top 3, and it was the Stars that came away with the win. They were quite assured in their performance right from the start. They really controlled the match from start to finish. There was a little bit of a moment when the Magic came storming back in that last quarter, but to be honest, it was all the Stars game. We found out afterwards that Gina Crampton wasn't feeling the best. We saw Jamie Hume in at wing attack for a while, but the Stars, and this lady in particular, Maia Wilson, absolutely on fire.
Now, we've had plenty of close matches, not in just this round, but in a couple of the rounds, and it brings us to our discussion. When there's only a limited amount of time left on the clock, scores are very tight. Do you play around with the ball or do you score it, Cruz?
Yeah, well, this has been a heated discussion right throughout the netball world. I've seen it on social media as well. For me personally, and just my opinion, if you've got the ball and you've got 30, 40 seconds left, score it and put the pressure on the other team to either even the score or get back into the game. Far too long we've seen, players really waste the ball, and for me, it's not important. And when you come down to those dying moments, you really need to score the ball. What about for you, Adine?
Yeah, look, I think, yes, use a little bit of time, but, when you're getting to 20 seconds, 30 seconds, I'm thinking, agree with you, Cruz, put it in the hoop, put the pressure on the other team, back your defenders to be able to get the ball. And you know what it's like when you're under pressure. That's when people can throw the silly pass, so put that back on the other team. So I say put it in the hoop.
And this is something you practice at training. I think Dame Noel, she said the max you can have really is 30 seconds to play around with it, but you practice 30, 20, 15, 10. You only need about 10 seconds to score, but if Dame Noel says 30 seconds or under, I think we better listen to her.
Yeah,
exactly.
Listen to Dame Knowles. Well, there's someone else you got to listen to, and she's getting a bit of a cult following, is Edema Makaidi. She gets all the goss, and tonight it's with Maia Wilson.
All right. Welcome back at T News. That time we love. For today, we got none other than Maia Wilson. Come in, you're Maia girl. I'm your girl. We your girl.
Oh, destination.
Want you to know
that I love you,
girl.
I've been crying,
Nice,
but
nice.
I need. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
nice.
cut it there, right?
That's all right. Welcome to T News.
Thank you for having me. I feel special.
You're welcome.
Wow.
You are. I know. We spoke about you last time on E News.
Some tea going down. Oh, Maia's looking.
Maia's looking for a man. I won't say what I've heard, but I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Do you like reality TV?
I do like reality TV.
What's your favourite program?
Love Island.
Was it Love Island? I thought it was Heartbreak.
I have never watched Heartbreak Island in
So
my life.
do you know any? Oh,
No.
you know anyone from there?
So
Wow, is there something you need to tell us?
I do know someone from there. Yes.
Like, is there? We won't call it a thing, but is there a Taini? Hey, we got some footage.
You got some footage?
Yeah, we got some footage on you. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
ready? Roll the tape.
Your girl's happy.
Yeah,
We love
I
being
love that.
happy.
I love
We love being
Be
happy.
happy. Okay, I've got a game for you, okay?
Okay, go on.
Choose your poison. You either choose shooters, middies, or D.
I'm a shooter, so I'll go for shooters.
Shooters. Okay, I got a type of shooter.
Yeah.
You tell me who that is in ANZ.
Okay.
Okay. Always the extra one.
I'm already
Yeah,
oh,
there you
that's
go.
easy. Yes.
The hesitation guy. Please don't say no there.
Amelia Walmsley sometimes.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Always wants the contact call.
Me. Wait, don't stop outing myself.
I'm the greatest. I'll carry this team, shooter.
I'm outing my own teammates.
All right, the princess shooter.
Mills
My
has the most prettiest
Yeah,
princess shot.
she is pretty.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take that one. And the effortless beauty queen. Can be any shooter you like.
Me. I
Oh.
know.
Get it. Do you want to make an ultimate player?
Ultimate player, yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on.
What is
then.
it?
2 people, put them together, they make 1 player.
Temepara Bailey
Yeah.
and I'm gonna back myself. Can I put myself
you can
in
put
there?
yourself in
Put
there,
me on
nice.
centre, bro. Nah, it wouldn't last
Nice.
more than a minute.
Tell me, what's your up on game? If you've got to put the people out there up on game, that's any information to help them with their life, make things better for them, what's your up on game?
When you feel mean in yourself, it translates into every other aspect of your life. So you do you, honey boo boo.
Nice.
Feel good about yourself.
It's been great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome,
mate.
you're welcome. Don't like playing you, but you're welcome here anytime. Hey, let's go back
You
to
know.
Cruz and Coco on the couch.
Kia korua.
We absolutely love it. Thank you, E and Maia, for being so open. For us, it's time now to head back out to Otatahi to chat to Amelia Walmsley, who is fresh off the court. Amelia, thank you so much for joining us. How was that one out there, the battle out on court tonight?
Yeah, she was a tough one, but yeah, we came away with the win, and I think any win means anything, so yeah, we're happy.
Amelia, your first season as a contracted player in the ANZ Premiership, and for a number of games we've seen you hit the floor time and time again. How are you finding the physicality so far?
Yeah, it's definitely something to step up to, but I'm practicing each time. Every game I get better and better, I feel like, coming up against it, and it's just another game is another opportunity to get experience with the physicality, so yeah.
Amelia, first full year, as Cruz just talked about, you've played in NNL before this. How do you feel that competition prepared you for ANZ?
I think it's just a great opportunity to get court time under your belt, and the physicality is there too, but yeah, I think it's just a great opportunity for you to kind of discover yourself as a player in a little bit more of like a higher performance kind of environment rather than school netball or something like that. So the step up to then ANZ it's kind of just a good middle ground.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Amelia, you're doing so well, but you've been on a very steep learning curve. We just saw Tiana come up behind you. What is it like working with her?
Yeah, she's unreal. I think she has such smarts on court, and to observe her last year from the bench and then now to play with her is just a really great opportunity for me. And yeah, she's great. She's very supportive, always has really good advice. So yeah, it's really cool to play with her.
Amelia, last week I came across a little interview where Coach Noeline Toto was speaking very highly, and she was very impressed by what you're doing in the ANZ Premiership this season. I mean, how does it make you feel to know that the head coach of the Silver Ferns is impressed by what you're doing out on court?
Yeah, it's nice to know. I think any compliment means something these days as well. So yeah, it's nice to know. She's watching everybody, to be honest, but yeah, it's nice to know.
Who are those shooters that you did look up to as you've made your way through the grades? Surely Irene Van Dyke was one of those, because there's certainly some similarities there.
Yeah, definitely. Irene Van Dyke. I loved watching Maria Tutai at the time, Maria Flau now, and then also Amelia Canasio. To be on court at the same time of her as her is still a little bit like kind of starstruck moment. But yeah, those three players are the ones I really looked up to.
Well, Amelia, thank you so much for joining us, and we love watching you out on court just like Dave Knowles, and we'll see you next round.
Thank you.
Oh, so great to hear from the players, like especially fresh off the court. Right, it's time now for our favourite competition, our TikTok one.
All right, netballers, we're calling you to get your groove on. Grab your teammates, all ages and stages, and see if you can do it better than the ANZ girls. To go into the draw, head over to the Sky Sport TikTok page. Learn the dance, grab the sound, and remember to hashtag Netball Zone in your entry. You'll be in to win over $2,000 worth of Puma gear to fully kit you and your netball team out. Make sure to follow them over on Instagram at Puma New Zealand.
And congratulations to our weekly winners, the Wellington East Girls College, for sending in this entry. Thank you so much to everyone who's entered, but in particularly the Wellington East Girls College out on the Pulse court there down in Wellington, it looks like.
Yes, make sure to get those entries in so we can see the amazing dance moves from you all. Well, another week of Netball Zone means another week of cruise control. Take a look. Kia ora and welcome to Cruise Control, a segment where we offer you tips to improve your netball game. Today we'll be looking at a roll done by a shooter to open up that space. The first thing the shooter wants to do is to have the defender stuck on their back. asking for the ball to the open space. Once that defender has committed around the body, they then roll their body to the post, receive the ball, turn and shoot.
Oh, well, kia ora, Cruise, and all the men who are in cruise control this year, some of them who play in the men's Mystics team, who have their first match coming up this weekend.
I love netball, and why you step away for personal reasons to have more family balance in your life. When you love netball, you still want to be involved, and the Mystics men's are something that's very dear to me, so I'm really glad I can contribute.
So we're at the Mystics men's netball trials here at Rangitoto College. We're trialling for the men's game against the Stars this year.
So we're giving the men the experience of what the Mystics women would go through when wanting to play for the Mystics, a sense of fitness testing, standards that we have and we hold true to, some skill work, and we'll play some games.
I really enjoyed what I had with the Mystics last year. It took me a little while to step out of my comfort zone and to play with different people and a different coach and a different style of coaching, but that's what I wanted to get out of the year. So I really enjoyed that, and I thought I'd come back and give it another go. Totally enjoyed it. Loved the experience, loved being part of a franchise and feeling like we're the same as the girls, although different, but it was great to be part of a family environment within the Mystics.
I was involved with the Mystics men's last year. Thought I'll give it another go before I have to hang up my shoes. Opened my eyes to what netball can be for men.
Oh, nicely floated ball finds Gerber.
We had brilliant coaching. Team environment was awesome. Yeah, that was really, really cool.
I kind of knew that the trials were coming up from last year. I saw the Facebook post and knew a bunch of mates who were coming to trial as well. Was really excited to see Helene would be coaching this year, so that was definitely a draw card, definitely getting some kind of professional level experience is really, really exciting.
I think that the men are just hungry to learn and they're really passionate about the game, just like the women. So I think how can we share and leverage off the strengths that both men's and women's netball has, and how can we create a club environment where they get to learn off each other?
Yeah, we've had a couple of years of exposure through Mystics last year and Cadbury Series, but it's great to actually have something that's down at the lower level, not necessarily New Zealand, but in a regional franchise kind of environment, so it gets more exposure for more players to be seen out playing men's netball.
Hopefully men's netball takes a step further and get other regions involved as well in this sort of environment. So yeah, hopefully it just opens up more doors to men's netball.
Some hesitation. Going to work hard. My aspirational thoughts would be that the Mystics are a club for all, that the men and women train alongside each other in a daily training environment, that they can take the strengths of both sides of the game to create netball in New Zealand to be a product that everybody can enjoy.
And you can catch that match live on Saturday at 5 p.m. before the Mystics play. But for now, we're going to head live to Invercargill to chat to Kate Heffernan, who is joining us. Kate, kia ora, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, probably not the season you would have hoped for, but how are the spirits amongst the Steel team?
Hi, yeah, I guess it's been quite a hard season. Lots of learnings though, and yeah, I think we're moving in the right direction now. Hopefully I can feel a win.
We can feel a win coming for you guys as well, Kate. Well, speaking of those learnings that you just mentioned, what are some of those that you're taking away from these losses this season?
I think for me personally, I've never had to think so hard about my game and just know how to help everyone around me. I think at the start I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know how to help everyone, but the only way I've kind of figured it out now that the only way I can help the ones around me is by doing my job. So I think, yeah, the season has just made me have to really think so hard about what is my job, how am I going to do it, so I can, I guess, just help everyone around me.
Kate, it's great to see the Steel fans. They don't go away. They don't mind if you're losing. I know they like to win, but they still fill stadiums. They still come along and support. They still comment on the Facebook pages. I mean, how important is it to have that support, particularly when it's been a tough season?
Yeah, we have very special fans. We love them so much, and I think it's makes such a difference when we can play in front of them at IRT Stadium Southland. I think The game just being, the crowd was amazing. But yeah, we really appreciate the support, especially after what's been a pretty hard season. And it is always just so cool seeing everyone at games, even when we haven't won a game, but they're still turning up to every game. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. We really do appreciate them.
Now, Kate, it's been amazing to watch your game and your netball career grow. And what was your experience like at the Commonwealth Games just last year?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, a crazy experience, one that I probably didn't think I would be at probably 6 weeks prior to it. But yeah, it was awesome. A massive highlight of, well, the highlight probably of my sporting career so far. So yeah, no, it was pretty cool. Yeah, it's even still weird watching the videos now.
And well, Kate, speaking of international experience, of course, this year you went to South Africa for the Quad Series, named the attacking player of the series. I mean, you must be pretty proud of yourself to be named that player, given that you were up against three best teams in the world.
Yeah, that was quite a surprise, to be honest. I really enjoyed that series. I think it was really cool being able to play a little bit more centre at that level as well. I don't mind wherever I play, but I think that was really, really cool for me to be able to kind of show what I can do, I guess, at more than just wing defence. But yeah, that was an awesome series and a good experience for me.
A lot of talk at the moment about Silver Fern selection for the World Cup. Your name is being prominent amongst a number of people. Timi Pata-Bailey picked you out specifically. Marianne Delaney wants to steal you. I mean, what does it mean to have these people recognising how well you're playing?
Yeah, I guess it is in the back of the mind, the Silver Fern World Cup selection. Yeah, I guess it is nice to hear that even with a tough season the Steel have had, that my name hasn't been forgotten about, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I think I've still got a few more games. I think we've got 5 more games of the season, and yeah, just want to do whatever I can to put my hand forward for that selection.
Well, Kate, we thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the very best for those remaining 5 rounds, and we hope the Steel can get a win on the board.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, as I said, so great to always hear from these players. All right, this was round 9 of the ANZ Premiership. The Pulse, they got that 1-point win over the Steel. The Mystics beat the Tactics with a big win there. The Stars, they outplayed the Magic, keeping them from a bonus point, and then it was the Pulse tonight running away with it in the 4th quarter.
And if we look at the ladder as it stands after this final game this evening, well, the Mystics, of course, are at the top of the table, but the Pulse are equal on 27 points. The Tactics and the Stars are fighting out for that all-important 3rd position, and the Magic that lost yesterday to the Stars probably puts them out of contention for the final 3.
Well, it's hard to believe it's already round 10. And what we have is another 4 awesome matches. That first one, Mystic Steel, is on Saturday night. Magic Pulse, well, that's going to be interesting. The Pulse, they really need to get that win if they want to stay at the top, and particularly in that 1st or 2nd position. Tactic Stars, that's my pick of the game of the round. They really, really both need that win, and it rounds up with Magic and Steel on Monday night.
All right, well, that's it for us from Netball Zone this week. Adine, thank you so much for joining us in studio. It's been great. Inside Netball will be on this week with Kath Cox zooming in, but time now to pay tribute to a netball legend who sadly passed away at 97 years of age.
Ke te pirangi mātou ki mihi atu ki tēnei rangatira o te aopoi tarawhiti nei, nō reira, moi mai rā, moi mai rā, moi mai rā.
Oh, Taini Jamison, she's an icon, actually. Her contribution to netball, my gosh, how can I sum that up?
It's something that it's been all part of my life since I was about 7. The love of netball just stayed with me all the time. I was always on the go. My father always said I was like a fantail, flitting from one place to another.
Taini in her own right is a very talented sportswoman. Representative softball player, indoor basketball player, tennis, netball. So she herself has a great history of playing sport at top level and a wonderful attitude towards it.